Hello, fans. Um, well, today we discuss a relationship between the planets and the sun with the Fibonacci numbers. Yeah, the Fibonacci numbers. Yeah. So, there are connections between the Fibonacci numbers and the planets online. You can find the relationship between various characteristics of the orbits of the planets and the Fibonacci numbers. But this is a relationship that I haven't found out there. There probably is one. I doubt if you missed it. But basically, I did this without research. I just noticed the relationship. So in my world, I came up with it, but obviously, before you go around claiming you came up with something, you do some serious checking and you see if you came up with it or not. So basically, I want you to consider the distances from the sun of each planet, not the synodic distance of adjacent planets, where you compare two planets, for example, Mercury, Venus, yeah, and you see how they're related in terms of the Fibonacci sequence. But me, I've decided to consider the distance that Mercury is from the Sun is 57 million kilometers. The distance that Venus is from the Sun, not from Mercury, from the Sun, is 108 million, and Earth is that much, and so forth. If I take this distance, yeah, the units are million kilometers. If I divide that by 100, this is also in million kilometers. You have 1, but this one here, you could consider that 0. 1, 1, 1, 2, 8, 14, 29, 45. Obviously, if you look at these studies, they are standard deviations, but we won't go into that specifically because even measuring the distances of these planets, they have oscillating orbits. So sometimes they're closer, sometimes they're farther away. So I couldn't be bothered to check to see to do a thorough study. This is obviously I'm a targeted individual trying to understand everything, but maybe it's just intelligence because I'm looking at what scientists are theorizing, and every component is there. It just needs for somebody to put it together. And that's why targeted individuals and free thought is very important. I like the way targeted individuals come up with new theories. They might be weird, they might be different, as long as they're different. Because we can all be looking at the same thing, but we can't see nothing. Archimedes noticed that the weight of something makes the water rise when it's in a bath. We all looked at that, but we never really made any connections to the density of gold, or to density itself. But um, where was I? Yeah. So anyway, it, all the components we need to figure out what the unified field theory is are there, yeah, but we just haven't found someone who can look at it in such a way that you can say, oh yeah, that's it. In the ancients, I'm pretty sure, I think probably Sumeria, if I'm betting, or Egypt, somebody would have known this, would have looked at the Fibonacci sequence, because Fibonacci was invented by an Italian guy, but obviously they were heavily influenced by Greeks, who were heavily influenced by Sumerians and the Near Eastern or Middle Eastern countries. So I'm pretty sure the Fibonacci sequence, the knowledge of it, pre-existed Fibonacci. I'm not sure what the Fibonacci. I'm not sure what the history is, but basically, if you look at the distances, yeah, divide them into 100 and round it up into units of millions kilometers. So this one would be 0.57, round it up is 1. 108, which is 1.08, round it becomes 1. That one round it becomes 1 as well, because it's less than 1.5 if you divide into 100. So I'm sure you can see all that. But anyway, the way I related it to the Fibonacci sequence, if you look at the Fibonacci sequence at the bottom, it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. Yeah. But if you look at the distance of from the sun values, you have 1. But if that's less than 0.5, and as you can see, it's quite close to 0.5. If you round that up, it will be 0. So that will be a 0. Venus, we can see there, is 1. Yeah. Earth is still 1. Mars is 2. And then there's 2 values missing here. And then Jupiter is bang on. Yeah. Mars is bang on. Earth is bang on. Venus is bang on. Yeah. These are all bang on to the Fibonacci sequence. And then Saturn starts to deviate. Saturn, but that could be error in measurement of its orbit, or sometimes it hits on bang on. And then Uranus's distance. Hang on a minute, I wrote this wrong. Uranus should be over here. Yeah. There's actually one missing here. There's actually one missing there. And Neptune should be here. Yeah, so I've noticed that that's kind of bang on. That's 29, only 5 away. Again, error in the orbital distance or variations in the orbital distance. Sometimes it hits that. And this is 10 away, and so far away that it's got an erratic orbit. I'm pretty sure it's not as uniform as the inner ones. But I'm sure sometime there is a time when it hits that. You could have an alignment where all these planets have hit their place in the Fibonacci sequence. You could have that kind of alignments. A Fibonacci alignment. That's what you call that one. A Fibonacci alignment of the planets, when all of them have completed an orbit that is spot on to where they are. But that's not the point. Anyway, I've noticed there's 2 planets missing. I'm sure the Sumerians talked about inner planets that collided with each other and left the debris that is the asteroid belt. So I'm pretty sure the ancients must have known this. But there is a planet here, yeah, that we don't know about. Nobody says that there's anything that exists there, yeah. But it would be, there's got to be something there, man. Yeah. This is just too much of a coincidence, man. There's got to be something there, man. I mean, we know there's an asteroid belt there. Is there another asteroid belt there? Yeah. I haven't done my research. Please do the research. You most probably, I don't know. Somebody might have this theory already, but looking at this, I haven't done the research. I just came up with it. So if I can just come up with it like that after knowing Fibonacci's sequence, I'm sure many other people would have come up with it. It's the easiest thing to come up with, but I'm just noticing that the planets are aligning in terms of their distance from the sun to the Fibonacci sequence. See if you can find it elsewhere. And we're not talking about the synodic adjacent planet distance, because they're proving that that also aligns with Fibonacci. We're talking about distances from the sun. Yeah. Mercury is the only one that's the odd one out. Yeah. So we could also say a doomsday thing. The only time for all of this to complete an orbit that is these exact distances away from the sun would be when Mercury, well, we don't want to imagine that future for Mercury. Yeah, so that's all. So many conspiracy theories can develop from this, but when I look at the way they're trying to explain the solar system, I'm thinking no one has really defended their concept that there might have been two planets which are missing. No one's really defended that. There's many people who mentioned that the asteroid belt appears to have been where planets were formed, but there was two other planets. I'm pretty sure that were there once that are no longer there, and there is also one between Saturn and Uranus. I don't know if I've heard of this. I don't think I've heard it before, but check for me. But if you haven't, if it isn't out there, I can't bother to do the research. If it isn't out there, then that's food for thought, isn't it? Yeah. That's it.